Now looking at how to go about financing these opportunities within the oil and gas sector, how do you actually go about it?
Well, the conference was in fact very well balanced, attended by both governments and investors who are really interested in investing in the East African oil and gas sector. There was a lot of presentations from Mozambique to Tanzania to Kenya to Somalia to Uganda to South Sudan. So there was a lot of investors and of course a lot of governments looking to make sure that both of them work in partnership and in tandem. A lot of challenges and opportunities were highlighted. There are a lot of challenges as far as financing is concerned, as far as some parts of Africa, like in Somalia, the issue of security was discussed, the issue of legal frameworks was discussed. And of course, they discussed a number of what's called local content, which was a very big issue. And currently, there's over 162 companies which have set up office in Nairobi because of the recent findings in Turkana and the region. And I think the number is going to increase because of all the required technical people must come down to areas that they're very close to.
Indeed, you touched on a few challenges, but what kind of challenges are international companies facing right now when partnering with local companies?
Well, the challenge you have is the locals are not as developed as the international companies, and what's happening in most cases is in any form or shape. Even the process of contracting sometimes is quite difficult with some of them, especially on delivering some of the required things. There is the issue of mismatch of knowledge because of differentials in knowledge know-how between the well-advanced companies which are coming from advanced countries to less developed countries like Kenya or Uganda or Tanzania. However, there's also the challenge of fiscal regimes and of course the challenge of how to tax what's called super profit in the case of discoveries which are of highly commercial value, especially so-called capital gains tax. Those challenges were some things that the governments and the companies can discuss and iron out the differences are. But I think it's going to not hinder any investment in the region. It's only a matter of the opportunities. The opportunities are huge. East African coast has almost discovered close to 200 TCF of gas. And the dynamics in the region is changing. Somalia is one area that has not been well explored, and it's expected that it has close to 100 billion barrels of oil and assuming about 50 to 60 TCF of gas, with more explorations, more basins to be discovered, and a lot of exploration work to be done. There's a new government in Somalia that has just come in yesterday, and we hope that it will join its partners in Africa to make sure that it encourages foreign direct investment. Al-Shabaab has been thrown out, so the security is improving a lot. Investors, I think, now should realize that Somalia is open for business. I was in the South African conference for the Africa Oil 2 weeks ago, and surprisingly, there was a lot of interest from companies when the slot came for what are the prospects in Somalia. The same thing in today's presentation, because I was the one who gave the challenges and opportunities of investing in the oil and gas sector of Somalia. And you could realize the vibrations from it, that the whole hall was full. So I think there are a lot of opportunities, and I think companies will need to look this side of Africa.
Indeed, there's a lot of opportunity on that front. I just wanted to ask you a question about the cross-border infrastructure development currently in the region. How far are we? Are we going to be able to carry this new sector that's coming up right now?
Well, that was a question which the National Oil Company of Kenya and other regional governments really discussed about, and I think they're going to have a mini summit very soon on how they can integrate their infrastructure, because infrastructure is a very heavy in expenditure and is very costly. There are a number of options which have been put forth on South Sudan oil exports. There's Ugandan exports, the oil in Kenya. And I think the governments of the region will come up with a policy that will be good for both investors and governments of the region. And it becomes a win-win situation for all concerned.